It helps to be nuts, which I am. You know, I went into this crazy business because I'm crazy. I come from a crazy family, and I think it helps to be nuts.
I know she came in second, and I know she had a little blow up. There's a lot of pressure. She's new at this. She had to have her eyebrows plucked. It's like she's out of her comfort zone, but she's amazing.
She is amazing, but if in addition to that little blow up, now apparently she's taking some time off in the hospital because of exhaustion. I don't know if you've heard this latest report. Well, I'm curious from somebody who...
Exhaustion. Susan Boyd's exhaustion. Yeah, I'm very familiar with exhaustion. You got to keep your friends closer, and you also have to... I just feel like you have to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I'm not Michael Jackson, for God's sake. She's not Michael Jackson, for God's sake. It's weird, but it's also like, okay, so you can't pick your nose in public.
While we don't feel sorry for Susan Boyle, you can empathize with her. Jillian, Susan Boyle, all these people, to be ripped out of your life, you think you're prepared, but you don't really know the full scope of walking a red carpet and your life literally changing in a moment.
No, I do feel sorry for her. I mean, imagine just forget the fame part of it, but imagine getting like the job of your lifetime, like something you always dreamed of, and you're overwhelmed and you're working all the time and you're more promotions and more promotions. Well, then you just burn out. It's the same thing. It's just like overwhelming for somebody like her who is beautiful on the inside and who has that beautiful voice, and all of a sudden the whole world is in love with you. It's it's crazy.
The biggest part for me was having people around me, good friends, family. That's a huge deal. You need somebody's shoulder to cry on. Someone to hold you and just kind of help you through it, because it's a major change, and there's a lot of things that happen, and it's sort of surreal, and you need someone to talk it through with. Otherwise, maybe you'll turn to alcohol or drugs. I don't know. That's when that starts to happen, because it's huge changes, and it's hard to handle.
Don't get pregnant.
From a small Scottish village to international YouTube sensation.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
From certain Britain's Got Talent winner,
you should win this competition,
to surprise runner-up.
Diversity!
From a hotel tantrum that lands her in the gossip pages to a case of emotional exhaustion that lands her in a mental clinic. Fame has taken Susan Boyle on an amazing and sad journey in the 7 short weeks she's been famous.
Susan Boyle has had an incredibly wild ride. She went from complete anonymity to worldwide fame instantaneously.
And as she recovers in this clinic after her shocking Britain's Got Talent loss, Susan Boyle's brother tells CBS's The Early Show she is getting better.
Susan seems to be coming back to her old ways. I mean, she's fine. She's anxious to come home, and she's sounding a bit more like herself.
That's a big difference from the Susan Boyle we've been seeing over the last few days.
As they turn your dreams to shame.
In the week before the world watched her perform in the Britain's Got Talent finals, Boyle reportedly got so stressed that she stopped eating, frequently broke down in tears, and publicly freaked out at a London hotel.
Anxieties were high.
Her brother tells The Early Show the stress of performing on and losing Britain's Got Talent got to his sister.
I think eventually exhaustion, worrying about the outcome of the competition, and anxiety just took its toll.
Showbiz Tonight can tell you people all over the world are slamming the show Britain's Got Talent, accusing it of taking this small-town woman with a reported learning disability.
I want to thank people for all the support they've given me, especially the people at home,
and thrusting her into a level of instant super fame and heavy media criticism that may have pushed her over the edge. Showbiz Tonight can tell you a British TV watchdog group may investigate Britain's Got Talent to see if it violated Britain's broadcasting code. The code states that, quote, people in a state of distress should not be put under pressure to take part in a program, unless it is warranted. Some say Boyle definitely was a person in distress.
Fame is dangerous for a lot of people because they don't realize it's more than just the glamour.
Psychologist Cooper Lawrence, author of The Cult of Celebrity, tells Showbiz Tonight Boyle clearly was not cut out for fame.
Not only is there hard work to stay in the public eye and to keep your talent going, but you have to contend with everyone's opinion about you on a regular basis. It's very damaging to the self-esteem.
There are all sorts of doctors and psychiatrists and support people around for all the contestants at any time.
Britain's Got Talent judge Piers Morgan insists Boyle was well looked after and she wasn't pressured into anything.
Susan has been regularly monitored and asked about her feelings regularly asked, do you want to continue? And she always said, yes, I want to take part.
It's marvelous to have all this attention.
Surprisingly enough, Boyle's brother says she has no regrets about the show or her fame.
Susan 7 weeks ago was simply a little lady from Scotland, and she's very grateful that the opportunities are now opening up for her.
And in fact, even as Boyle sits in a mental hospital, she's most worried about losing the fame that some say helped put her there.
Her biggest worry after Saturday night is that where does her career go from here? Will she be still accepted? She didn't win the competition. Will people still want to hear her sing? And will there be a career for her as we stand here today?
The fact that her brother is coming out and saying she still wants to be famous, the brother should be saying she is not capable of being famous. She's not somebody that should be famous. This is a great example of what the culture of celebrity has done to people. It makes you think that because you can, you should. Not everybody should.
But first we're going to talk about Susan Boyle, because as we mentioned yesterday, AJ, she went to the hospital. I guess it's unclear exactly what she's doing there.
Is it a clinic? What is
Well,
it?
what is it? Is it what are we calling this, AJ?
Well, yeah, people are referring to it both as a hospital, a private clinic, a private mental health clinic. I've also heard reported in respectable news organizations. So that's where she is, apparently from having suffered some kind of an anxiety attack coming off of her second place finish in Britain's Got Talent. You know, we were talking about this yesterday. We can't even imagine what she's been through in, 7 weeks, coming from her little town in Scotland, hanging at home with her cat, getting into this show, and all of a sudden she's a worldwide phenomenon. But the word is now that she is on the mend, and things are getting better. Her brother actually spoke with the CBS Early Show today and had terrific things to say, that she's coming back to her old self, that she's eager to get back home to Scotland. She is saying that she's a little worried about where her career is going to go now that she has finished second, now that Britain's Got Talent is over. However, we're hearing that's not going to be any kind of a problem. In fact, Simon Cowell's agent is now speaking out. He's also concurring with the brother that she is in fact getting better. She's getting exactly the help that she needs and the rest that she needs, which I think is a big part of it. She needs to chill out, and that's exactly what she's getting to do. And Simon Cowell himself, who is the creator of Britain's Got Talent, he's going to see to it that her career gets on track once she is healthy and back home. But her brother said what she really needs to do is get home to her house, spend some time with her cat, and have a good old cup of Scottish tea right now.
I hope people will give her the opportunity to have some privacy when she does get back home, because I cannot imagine what it's been like for her.
Yeah, good luck with that. Unfortunately,
Right.
you know, this is a big problem, and so a lot of fingers are being pointed right now. Who is to blame for this? Is she being exploited? Well, for her part, according to her brother, she does not feel like she's being exploited, and her brother said he doesn't feel that way either. There are people who are looking at the show Britain's Got Talent and saying, well, you took this woman who perhaps might have been a little fragile going into this and didn't do as much as you could have to protect her. So I think people are going to be keeping their eye on that show, and the show for their part is saying we did everything right.